This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you're tuned into episode 191 of The Real Word.
Word's up.
We've got a whole lineup here today.
You know, every time you say the number, all I think about is like
200.
9 weeks.
I know. You keep thinking about it.
9 weeks.
We've got Wall Street Journal, we've got CNBC, and we've got Inman. So we've got a good variety.
Good smorgasbord.
Absolutely, smorgasbord.
Mm-hmm. Some cheddar cheese, some Gouda.
You make a great
cheese board.
Well,
I always
for two. A great cheese board for two.
That was like 4 years ago, and you continue to bring it up
because Nicole made this epic cheese board for two.
Well, it was really late too. I feel like, was it a football game? You came over for a football game.
It was a pay-per-view boxing match.
Oh, a boxing match.
Nicole's
so you came over
husband
like
Brian
11.
and I were watching a boxing match. I believe
I rolled out of bed.
Triple G was fighting. I can't remember the exact fight, but she made.
I rolled out of bed, made a board, gave it to them, and then I went back to bed.
It was this whole side of the table. For two. I said, "Are you guys having more people come over? What's going on here?"
I gotta leave if you're having people over. You always have to have cheese in your cheese drawer.
Yeah, well,
all types of cheese.
You clearly wanted to empty out the fridge.
No, because then I save it, and then it's all cut up for the next round. I love cheese.
Let's get into the rackets here. Racket number one: Wall Street can't get enough fixer-uppers. Talking about flips. High interest loans to house flippers are a hot commodity on Wall Street, but inventory is scarce. Okay, so Wall Street Journal article, we'll link it up. I know a lot of you guys, may not have the subscription.
I had to read
Nicole
over his shoulder.
I do subscribe. It's the one
you feel good about it?
Newspaper that I subscribe to.
The only thing I didn't like, he wanted me to listen to it.
Anyways.
Can't.
Nicole read it. Kind of.
I read it.
All right. So Wall Street has made a mountain of money available to house flippers. Okay. So we've talked about Wall Street buying single family homes and just holding them and renting them. This is a different play where they're making money available loans to house flippers and selling move-in ready rehabs.
Which is great.
And so here's the thing. Typically, a local house flipper will go either use cash or they'll go get what we call a hard money loan.
I think it depends on the flipper, but yes. Yeah.
Or they have a pool of investors.
Right? Or maybe they themselves have a bunch of properties that they're doing like equity lines.
Yep.
I think a lot of people use their assets, and then
if they have some rentals, they might do that. So there's a lot of different ways. I should say that the local house flipper will go about it.
Yep.
But when you're going with a hard money loan, and this is kind of where I believe Wall Street, we'll get into the rest of the article.
Yeah.
This is basically a hard money loan at scale.
Right.
Okay. So when you go get a hard money loan, you're paying usually 1 or 2 points.
Yep.
Up front.
Right.
And then you're also paying
huge
8 to 12%. 8's a good deal.
8
like
is
1
a great
point
deal.
and 8% is a great deal. But typically you see 10 to 12% interest on something like 2 points, maybe more. Anything above that would kind of start getting out of market.
You better be flipping real quick.
Now, a lot of these hard money loans will require the investor to put at least 25% into the deal, 25% down.
Right.
So, if you're simple math buying a $400,000 house, that investor still has $100,000 worth of their own money cash into the deal, and they're borrowing the 300 on the points.
Yeah.
It's not like you're borrowing 100%.
Right.
And so it talks about in here that they've barely lost money. So they go through this Long Island investor, Ed Stock, who's quoted in this article, talks about the foreclosure moratoriums who have shut off a big source of them being able to find inventory right now, obviously. In this past year, just 2.7% in the past year of home sales were flips. During the first quarter, according to data from a source, Atom, ATTOM. That is the lowest portion of sales since at least 2000 when Atom started counting flips. The number of flipped houses and condos was the fewest since first quarter 2003. There you go.
There it is.
But my point about that I was trying to get to was that
right after 2003 is really when I feel like flips went through the roof. Like when it was dirt cheap to borrow money.
Absolutely.
And then flip them for crazy amounts of money.
It wasn't dirt cheap to borrow, but yeah.
Well,
2003 was not dirt cheap. Not like today's dirt cheap to borrow money.
Okay, that is true, but it was. You're very right. I'm sorry. It was easy. You could do like an 80-20 loan.
You could get money.
You could get money very easy. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I did misspeak. Thank you.
But the interest rate's better today than it was then. But
100%.
It was easier.
It was way easy
to get the money. Yeah. Then. But they talk about the fact that this investment bank. Okay, so. This Wall Street bank is called Rock, R-O-C, 360. I wonder if Jay-Z owns it. Rock Nation. Rock 360. This is Mr. Stock, this investor from Long Island, Rock 360. They just last week received a $2 billion infusion from insurer Athene Holding to make more loans to house flippers as well as landlords who buy a lot of rehabbed homes. Okay, so they've got about $3 billion that they're going to invest this year, 2022. They're expecting to invest, basically offer out loans to people at $4 billion. Draws yields in the range of, what did we say, 8 to 12% at the time within, when 1 year treasuries are paying less than 0.1%.
Right.
All right, so here's the deal, right? They're getting their money back. And the representative from the bank said there's been hardly any losses, and 8% for 1 year paper is extraordinary because these are short-term loans, 1 year. And what flipper in their right mind is going to go belly up when they've got $100,000, 25%, whatever the deal is, of their own money into the deal?
Right. Well,
they're not going to go belly up.
Well, and we were talking about it too before. I mean, you can almost buy them and wholesale them out. So even if you're about to go belly up, I guarantee you could probably find another flipper that's willing to pick up that job midway through. So you don't lose and you can get out unscathed. It's not like the market's going down where all of a sudden you're screwed. I mean, you could very easily grab somebody else in there too and have them take it over.
So we'll show the chart up here. U.S. houses and condos flipped quarterly. You see the huge drop off right now because of the inventory issues.
Yeah.
So it's been so hard for investors to find a deal. You see, obviously when when 2005, 6, 7, you saw a lot of these house flippers and people. Then it came crashing down for a little bit, but then when there was more deals available from 08. And then up, there was a lot of homes being flipped. I remember 12
was a great year for flipping.
2012 was that when you started flipping?
That's when I started.
Nicole and I just bought a flip. We just got kind of fortunate to get a deal in this market. You got to have a great deal.
Yeah.
And then there's another chart here we'll show. This is house flip purchases quarterly, financed versus cash. Okay, so the ones that are cash versus financed. Interesting there to see the difference there.
You like the graphs.
Love the graphs.
Yeah.
I love the, flippers that can go in and do it cash. Love that because now you're not paying those points. You don't have to carry that cost.
I agree. I also, there's also
now if you're trying to do a whole bunch at one time, it makes sense to use other people's money.
That's the downside. You just have so much money held up in one deal where, again, I mean, obviously the hard money thing is very expensive. But again, if they were talking about some apartments, but if you're able to pull some equity lines or again, find a pool of investors that are willing to, give you some money and you can sort of do your own loan. I mean, that's obviously the best. I still think that a hard money loan is not a horrible option if you want to do multiple at a time.
But if you're going to do hard money and you've never flipped before, you don't invest in real estate, this is your first one, I'd caution you with hard money because you really got to know your numbers, and there's going to be at times unexpected costs. Honestly, it's the soft costs that will always screw you. If you have it for 5 months, it's the taxes, it's the electric. It's also like if it's your first flip and you're doing hard money, and now that probably means you haven't worked with these crews before, whoever your tradespeople are. So there's a lot that goes into it. Of knowing your numbers exactly, knowing are your people going to show up? Are they going to finish the job on time? All of that kind of goes into it. But Rock 360, this Wall Street fund, they don't care about it. They funded 15,000 loans, which average roughly $350,000 on average the loan. This year, the firm then again expects to lend $3 billion. So all they care about is, do they have a way to recoup their money? They lien the house. So they own the house if they want it. They probably have the investor putting in 25%. It doesn't get into that.
Right.
But Rock 360, they love this deal. Sometimes they get higher than 12% returns, they said, but 8 to 12% in 1 year by holding paper is a great deal. And so, they're looking to give people more money. It'll be interesting to see what happens, this was the lowest year ever for house flips since the first quarter of 2003. What's 2020 going to look like? Are there going to be more flippers? The other thing the flipper in here said from Long Island.
We're already past 2020.
2022, I meant.
Yeah.
The other thing that the house flipper said in here from Long Island was that not only is inventory really scarce, but you've got all these wannabe flippers, these HGTV viewers that like, I want to invest in real estate. And so now they're out there and they're actually overpaying for a deal. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, I made a little bit of money there. I made 6% on my money or something. But then you find out that they did all the work themselves. So it's like, did you account for like you doing the labor? Right. That's a part-time job. That's a full-time job.
Well, it's interesting.
So a
lot of investors don't even know what their returns are. They're okay making $10,000, $15,000 where it's like, gosh, was that even a good use of your time?
But when you make $15,000 and you did all the work, you lost money. Right. You lost money.
Yeah.
So you got to really know your numbers. This is flipping homes is a math problem. And then if you really, if you're going to get somebody to pay above the comps, then it becomes an art equation as well, which is what Nicole's great at. Flipping homes, the art of the flip.
Pressure's on.
Picking out the designs. Yeah, the pressure is on. Just do it on time because it's all a math problem.
It is all a math problem.
Racket number 2, 48% of renters worry they won't ever be able to buy a home.
That number seems wildly high.
This is according to a Lending Tree survey.
Don't you think? That seems so high.
So out of the renters that they surveyed, because this is a Lending Tree survey, which was 2,050 U.S. consumers from August 2nd to August 6th of this year. So a 4-day window in a time when renters that are looking for homes are very frustrated.
Right.
Okay, because of the lack of inventory that we just talked about.
Right. Well,
so they're getting people at an emotional state where it's like if they've been looking all year and they're a renter, they're like, I'll never be able to buy a house.
Yeah.
They just keep going up.
I guess if that's who really it is. When I was reading it, I didn't really get that impression. I got the impression that they truly believe that they would never be able to afford a home.
That's what they're saying.
Right. But
48%, 1 out of 2.
In their lifetime. I mean, take a deep breath. Give it a little while longer. Like, you'll be able to get a house.
The concern is
But I don't even know that they're actually looking. I don't even think these people are looking. But if they actually really looked at what their expenses were by renting as opposed to buying, they would actually save some money.
They may not have been educated on the process.
Yes.
And it doesn't say if they are looking for homes or not. They're just renters. So we don't know
that they won't ever be able to afford it.
Does it say how old they are?
So the largest, it does. And if I can get to it, the largest, the concern is largest among renters in Gen X, 41 to 55, and millennials, 25 to 40 years old. To that point, 55 of Gen X renters and 52% of millennial renters are worried about their prospects of home ownership. And this survey was published on August 31st. People in the midst of their careers, especially Gen Xers. So it's
making 41 our most money ever.
They're their peak earning years, are thinking, if I haven't bought a house at this point, it's probably not going to happen. Jacob Channel, a senior economic analyst at Lending Tree. Okay, so listen, rents keep going higher and higher and higher. So this may come down to not being educated on what it takes that you can buy a house at 3.5%. Maybe you're a veteran and you get a VA loan with 0% down. Or you could do a conventional at 5%. Maybe they haven't
roll your closing costs in.
Maybe they haven't been educated on all of those opportunities to them that are available to buy a house. Certainly long term, if you're 50 years old even, and you're going to be living in that area for the next 10 years, it makes much more sense to buy a house because we know the most wealth created for average earners, homeowners in this country has been their home. Right. So home ownership leads to a lot of Americans held $34 trillion in real estate assets in the first quarter of 2021, or about 23% of total household assets. So of everybody's household assets, their home makes up a quarter of that.
Right. Okay? I'm shocked. Do you think that number is I think that number's high.
I think in this climate right now where people are frustrated,
but in their lifetime,
there's no inventory out there.
So they're like, forget it. I've been looking for 4 months. I give up forever.
Are people not reactionary to the moment? Are people not prisoners
I hear you,
of the
but
moment in today's society?
So dramatic.
Have you ever been on Twitter?
Ever in my lifetime. No, I'm not on Twitter. I do not tweet.
All right. Well,
although I feel like I get notifications every time you tweet. I don't know why
really?
that is.
You get notifications when I tweet?
I get an email every time you put
an email?
I get an email every time you tweet. I'll show you when
that
we're
might
done.
Be something to unsubscribe to.
Clearly.
You know?
But
so you're seeing all my tweets.
I don't click it. I see that you tweeted. I'm like, oh, look, Byron got his post in before 8 a.m. this morning.
Unsubscribe to my Twitter feed. Okay. Let's go Marketeer of the Week.
But subscribe to subscribe to us.
Definitely subscribe to. Oh, good job, Nicole.
I'm
Finally,
trying.
Nicole.
I'm going in for the ask.
With the ask, please. If you're interested in more of this content, would love for you to subscribe. We have a Marketeer of the Week. This is an Inman article. Agents are using TikTok's popular chopping dance.
I didn't even know what they were talking about until I watched the video.
As a marketing tool.
Okay? I can hear you.
So this is a trend on TikTok, the chopping dance.
I feel like I've seen it forever, though. When is it over? Is it over yet?
It's over when it becomes unpopular.
It's already unpopular. I don't even know what people are thinking.
The rise of TikTok has given real estate agents another social media platform and a trendy new dance to help promote their business. Chris Smith.
Their business, yeah.
Chris Smith, who's going to be on the Real Word Confessional this week. Everybody should check out the confessional. It's fascinating.
Yeah, he's great.
He talks a lot about branding, right? Mm-hmm. Which we talk a lot about.
Right.
You want to build a brand, and that's what these agents are trying to do. Let's react, Nicole, to the 4 TikToks on this Inman article of real estate agents. Okay. We are going to react to all 4 of them. Here is the first one.
Mm-hmm. Hit play.
I'm just Agent After Hours. That's the ticker here for.
That's the ticker.
The handle. The ticker. The handle. Sound like I'm 80 saying that, huh?
Kind of.
The ticker. All right, let's react.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. Is it? So I guess I don't. Okay, there.
Okay, what did you think of that one?
I guess I don't really understand.
Trend.
I understand. I'm following that. I guess I'm not really, because are you supposed to be pointing up when the thing changes? Because they were not in sync.
The trend is you point at whatever you're flashing the question, the answer on the screen. Okay, here we go.
I wasn't. And what was there laundry behind them? Do they have a rack of clothes behind them?
Let's watch the second one. See if we can get the second one.
Okay.
When a client asked me to view a house that hit the market 1 second ago, I found out he already has 10 offers. But she's still, this one's terrible.
I'm not really understanding.
I can't watch that one anymore.
Maybe just put some weights on your wrists, and then you get a workout.
Questions we get asked as agents: are you guys actually free? Excuse me, are you guys actually free?
Yes.
And she says yes. That is the worst. That is the worst self-promotion.
Well, and she's also
seen.
sitting on a beanbag. Is she at a beanbag and smile? But again, she's just dancing. So I thought that I was with you. I thought you were supposed to be pointing while it flashes.
Well, she's doing a little movement here. Let's watch the next one. Agent.
This woman, she's in the dark.
Questions I could ask is
I think she just took the top off of her light. Look, she's there.
What areas do you service? Central Ohio. Okay. Who is your broker? Red One Realty.
It's clear. There's enough time for me to read it.
How do I contact you? Then she puts her Gmail. How about follow here or something? Anyways.
I'm not understanding. It looks like she just moved into her house and her furniture hasn't arrived yet.
These were, I'm taking these off.
I like hearing you though.
Yeah, it's okay. You can keep yours on.
I like listening to you.
These were really bad TikToks if you go through the Inman article. But this concept of following a TikTok trend is the Marketeer of the Week. Not necessarily any of these 4 videos.
Yeah.
I thought, who wrote the article here? Libertina Brandt. Libertina, I thought you could have done a much better job sourcing TikToks. Go see Glenda Baker. Go see, Zach, who we've had on the confessional.
Boom. Is she?
No, she's not doing that.
Is she bopping?
She's not doing any of that.
Okay,
no.
I don't. Yeah.
Glenda should do a reaction video to these videos on her TikTok.
My God, have you ever watched the video of the one where she sold the wrong house?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
she's great. But
I was hooked.
But by saying you can hurt your brand, and so here's a great example of hurting your brand by saying, "Are our services free?" Yes. No, they are not. I mean, there's class action lawsuits about this stuff that is totally misleading the consumer. It's totally false. It's ridiculous. And you know what? Like the services that are free, like look at the service that Redfin provides to consumers. It's awful. Look at all the reviews that, Redfin gets chewed up because they go on low fees. When you try to promote yourself as being free, I mean, you are like putting yourself in line with the 99-cent cheeseburger. Who can make a cheeseburger for 99 cents?
Ooh, I don't want to eat a cheeseburger for 99 cents.
Who can make a healthy cheeseburger for 99 cents? Yeah, and who wants free services when you're investing in your biggest asset of all time? And your services aren't free, so you're lying. Anyways.
Bottom line, though, I do think that you should be on TikTok. You should be doing reels. We've always been saying this. I think it's lovely. I hated all the videos.
All those videos were terrible. But,
I mean, get a ring light.
But do you think you should follow these kind of trends?
I think it's wildly hokey, but I'm also kind of like middle-aged, so it's like I think
we should be doing on our opening party. We should do some trends out here.
I feel feel like it would hurt me more than it would help me to be bopping.
No, I think the trend is good.
But I did do one. Remember the one where I danced? Yeah, like I did dance.
Right, but what Chris Smith talks about on this week's Real Word Confessional, which subscribe so you don't miss that. He talks about how the copy is so important.
Yes.
What you write, the questions, where you position them on the TikTok, like the new agent there, you couldn't even see it. It was at the very top.
Yeah.
Where you position your copy, the edit, what it says, what you say in the tag, in the headline.
Yeah.
All this stuff matters for great execution. Your execution matters. So should you be doing trends because you're going to get more virality? Absolutely. But should you actually do it well? Yeah, you should think about executing at a high level.
Yeah, turn on a few more lights.
Yeah. So, in Instagram right now, I see a lot of bad crap on Instagram right now. They talked about this. We talked about it a couple months ago. If you're just putting up crappy photos and this kind of stuff, they're going to do away with you.
Yeah.
So the actual quality and quantity matter on these platforms. I would say that the marketeer of the week is follow the trends, but do it well. Do it better than these four. And Libertina from Inman.
Well, check back with us next week because I can't wait to see Byron do all these trends at our grand opening party.
Is she from Libertina? You could have done a better job finding.
We're supposed to be doing a listing video with a trend. Can't wait.
Do I know about it?
I don't know.
Oh. You know about it, Bobby?
No, Bobby doesn't know about it.
Stay tuned. Maybe it'll be
Lucas and Sam.
Maybe it'll be the marketeer.
We talked about it. Remember, Sam came back for a cameo, and I talked about it during that Real Word.
Oh,
and now he's executing on it.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
Maybe you'll make the marketeer.
I doubt it.
All right.
I'll give Caroline the.
Oh, you and Caroline.
Yeah, it's her listing, so I'll give it to her.
Would love for you guys to share this if you found value and consider subscribing, and we'll see you here next week.
See you guys.
Keep it real.